MAJaC Radio.
This is MAJaC Radio.
Music Studio.
Good afternoon, dear listeners, and welcome to MAJaC Special on MAJaC Radio 92.2 FM, the voice of journalism training and media excellence. I am your host, Awa Gassama, and today the edition focuses on a very important topic that directly affects the future of journalism and communication students. We will be discussing how MAJaC is expanding partnerships with media houses and other institutions to strengthen student learning through internship opportunities. Joining us in the studio is a very special guest, Mr. James Baji, Director of Training at the Media Academy for Journalism and Communication. Welcome to the program, sir.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
Okay, Mr. Baji, before we dive into our discussion, kindly tell our listeners briefly about your role as the Director of Training at the Media Academy for Journalism and Communication, what it entails.
Great, thank you. So first of all, my name is James Baji.
Okay.
I'm the Director of Training at MAJaC, and essentially my overarching role is to oversee all the training activities, student-related matters at the Academy.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Baji. Can you briefly explain your responsibilities and how they connect to students' development in MAJaC?
Great. So like I said, basically my role has to do with everything that has to do with training, from curriculum development to scouting for trainers to classroom activities to the syllabus that you guys cover to internships and everything in between. And essentially it's all geared towards, because the essence of learning is to develop skills that you can apply in the real world to not only better yourself but also your community and the country at large. So basically my role has to do with everything that a student walks in here, from recruitment all the way to their training, to graduation, to internships where necessary, and where relevant, we also assist in creating a pathway so they can have full-time employment.
That's amazing. Okay, internships are a key part of the media training worldwide. So, okay, what are the internships? What are the internships? Why are the internships so important for journalism and communication students here in MAJaC?
Fantastic. That's a good question. So as you may be aware, for the Media Academy is a Tibet institution. Okay. So essentially most of our training, unlike traditional, conventional universities, our training is a lot, more hands-on. At least 70% of everything you do is practical, then you have a bit of theory. So one of the best ways to learn is through internships, because internships is where you actually learn by doing. You are in the field, you're actually implementing and executing some of the things that you learned in class. So as internships are very important. It's one thing to understand how something works, yes, but it's a completely different thing to actually use it and make it work. So that is why the internships are a very important or a key element, to enhance the skills of our students.
That's amazing, just to make sure that they practice what they've learned exactly in the school here. Yeah. Okay, the other question is, what challenges has MAJaC faced in the past regarding placement of students in media houses and institutions for them to have internships?
Yeah, so the thing, usually the stumbling block is the issue of space. Because sometimes you approach institutions, you want to place a certain number of students, but they will tell you, one, they don't have the space for the students coming in, or they don't want the responsibility of, for instance, giving an allowance, right? So funding is a challenge. Most of the time, these are the two key factors why internships, some people, institutions are not open to it. And the internships, just to clarify, is not only for journalism and communication, but also our other three programs. That is the film and photography, we have the communications program, and we also have the digital media production and management. So the fundamental stumbling blocks are these two, but if you go to the other training programs, for instance, digital media, film and photography, there is also some CEOs and media house owners or studio owners, they don't want the competition, so they feel if interns come in, they learn certain skills, they're able to do what they do, they may go set up their own business and become a competition against them. So sometimes they not open up for internships because they don't want the competition, they want to monopolize the market. So that is another challenge when it comes to digital media and film and photography.
Okay.
But the major ones are funding and the issue of space.
Okay, it is important. I thought it was just for journalism, but like if it is open to other programs also, that is something very important.
Yeah.
And like the limitations or the limited number of students going for internship in other media houses can be something challenging. Okay, how has the media landscape in the Gambia influenced the need of strong institutional partnerships?
So we've had a series of meetings in various media houses, and something that keeps coming up is the issue of a lack of technical people. You know, you have those who want to be in front of the camera, but when it comes to those who are behind it, the number is a little limited. You know, people want to be in front, they want to present the news, and that's it, they're done. You know, if you needed editors, camera operators, it's usually a challenge. And most of the time, you cannot learn everything in the... we are not the only ones graduating journalists, right? But our way of training has been very, very, very good. And the feedback we've been getting from the industry is, I mean, when MAJaC students come in, a lot of the time they have the necessary tools, so it's easier for them to catch up and actually run with it. So it's important for us to form partnerships, right? So through these partnerships, we are able to, you know, have student placements, but the partnerships not only cover internships, but we also have content sharing, right? Like content that is produced by students at MAJaC can actually be shared.
Yes, I don't cut you short, but it's just like we're coming to that partnership thing. Yes, let's talk about partnership. What steps is MAJaC currently taking to expand partnership with media houses and other institutions? As you were just talking about partnership.
Great. So I was running a bit ahead.
Yes.
So we've approached over the period. We've approached a few media houses. For a fact, we've formalized agreements with Choice FM.
Okay.
So with Choice FM, we have agreements for internships, for content sharing. We formalized with Star TV and radio. We've approached member caring. We've had initial discussions with member caring. We also have an MOU formalized with Banjo Film Festival. So this has to do with more of the students in film and photography. We've had an initial contact with QTV. We'll have to pick that up and see where that goes. We even had an institution, West Africa Broadcast Media Academy, that actually reached out initially and shared a letter. They were interested in some form of partnership that we have to pick up and build on. They are located in Nigeria.
Okay.
But Al Hikma, we had initial contact. It's a university here. We had initial contact, but nothing has been formalized yet. The UTG MOU, you are aware, so it's not only media houses, but also academic institutions.
Okay.
With Star, we've even shared a plan with them, radio and TV plan, to have a weekly programs there. So, and also sharing content that is produced by the students here and internships. So what the media houses get in return is training, because primarily what we do is training. So they give us the platform, but we can also, in return, we provide training for some of their staffs that are interested in coming to MAJaC to learn. Yeah, to improve on journalism. But there is something that we added, which is the national language. Some people call it local, but now it's national language part of it, because we've realized that there are some practitioners, media practitioners, who are interested in journalism, but English language is a barrier. but they're already practicing anyway. So we're trying to come up with something to see where those who are already in the field and their strengths lie in the local, national languages, to see how we can craft something for them to provide training in the language that they understand. We know the primary languages are usually Wolof and Mandinka, so we can have trainings around that area. We cannot stop them from practicing, they're already in the field, so why not just give them the essentials that they need.
That is important because it doesn't stop at only the practitioners, but also even the listeners, because if you can see like many people, like most people speak this local language. So if news is being done in English, they find it difficult to understand. But if we have some of these people within our midst, it is going to be something great.
Absolutely.
Okay, now when you mentioned about something like member caring, is it a TV or?
They have a radio on TV. Oh. They stream online.
Okay.
For the TV at least.
Okay, this question is just like more of repetition or to clear it. Are these internships limited to only traditional media, or do they also include digital media, NGOs, government institutions, and corporate communication offices? So
it cuts across. It's not only the media, but also other institutions as well.
Yes.
You do know that we also provide training, not for journalists only, but we also provide training for members of CSOs and NGOs, because we can provide training in communications and other corporate institutions. So that is specialized training. Institutions, we can approach them, or they can approach us and say, okay, we have communications officers, or we have people who need training in a particular area, and we can craft a curriculum and have a training for them in the specific area that they need. So the internships, they cut across. It's not only within media, just journalism and media. Yeah, it could be outside of it.
I think that is fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. How do these internships improve the quality of training and expose the students receive when they go out for these internships?
The internships are actually critical, by the way, and especially for us, especially when students sometimes go for internships, you can actually get proper feedback. It's a way for the institution to get feedback, to understand, okay, some of the things that are learning are relevant, other things are not relevant, because when they go out in the field, they are unable to use them. You can also assess whether your training is being done right, because the institutions can provide feedback. The students are either good or not good enough. The areas that they are strong at and the areas that they have weaknesses. And it also gives the students the opportunity to actually practice what they've learned, expose them, and it's actually a pathway to actual full-time employment. Because there have been many students who've started as interns and ended up as full-time staff. Yeah.
Okay, that is important because it will help you, the trainer, to know whether your training is relevant to the students, and also you get to know the strength of your students as well. Okay, at this point in the program, we want to bring in the voice of our students. Our team spoke with few MAJaC students about their internships and experiences that they gain. Okay, so we will go through those audios, we'll listen to them, and then we'll continue the interview.
Good evening. I am Al Bob. I'm an intern currently at QTV Gambia. So ever since I started QTV Gambia as an intern, it has been opportunities upon opportunities for me, and it has widened my knowledge and experience in the newsroom, and it has taught me a lot. It has I've learned a lot. It has widened doors for me, and my skills in editing has improved, visual editing, my skills in writing also has improved. And with this, I think being opportune to be one of the interns at QTV Gambia has opened doors for me, has equipped me with hand-based practicals, hand-dexed practicals at QTV Gambia, and it has also helped me meet different people from different background, media practitioners like me, and have shared their experiences with me, and then I have learned from them. So it's actually amazing, having to practice what I love, what I'm passionate of, every day, every time. It's amazing for me.
I get to learn a lot of stuff from colleagues, and one of the things I learned from the management was I should not begin my story with a date, and which was very helpful. It guided me along the way and during my course at the Voice newspaper, because when I was told I should not write or begin an intro with a date, I had to stop it. And also the fact that I was given a column to handle as an intern was really great for me, because there were so many people that, I think out of performance wise and doing the work as expected, I was given the task to handle a column of the Voice newspaper, which ran for some few months, and so unfortunately I had to leave the place. So I think basically these are the reasons, or these are the stuff I remember during my stay at the Voice newspaper. So most importantly, it's good to have teamwork with your peers, with your colleagues, and I got that during my stay at the Voice newspaper. People were willing and open to share their ideas, their stories to me.
My internship at Star TV was very, helpful for my growth, even though MAJaC taught me all the fundamentals. I faced almost no problems. I was always keen and happy to write and report stories whenever I had the chance. I also made sure to actively find stories, going out and look for stories without them telling me, hey, as you know, you need to do this. I go out willingly and voluntarily, using the skills I learned at MAJaC. I believe journalists should, look for news, not just wait for it to happen. And this approach meant everything went smoothly. The workplace was great for learning and making professional connections. So far, so good. That's it. I think I've answered your question.
Thank you so much, Mr. Baji. As we are just listening to those, the audios that we listened to are the students of MAJaC that went for internship, and those were our Bob, who is doing her internship at QTV, and also Tijan Esture, who was once at Voice newspaper, and also Ajifatu, who just completed her internship at Star TV. So these are the people that we have. So what is your reaction to what the students have said? What is your reaction?
Thank you, and I think that was some very good feedback, actually. So you see, it's relevant information. So it actually says that we are doing something right. Okay. And then the last speaker spoke about agency, right? Yes. So I mean, at MAJaC you're given a lot of tasks, a lot of assignments. You're taught to be independent, right? So she's once in the field, she's able to take initiative, right? She's able to be proactive and go for stories, not actually sit and wait for things to happen. Yes. I don't think journalism is for the lazy anyway. No. If you're going to wait for stuff, nothing is going to happen. Okay. So you actively have to be in the field and actually searching for stories, relevant stories. I had the issue of teamwork. Yes. They're able to fit in.
Group work.
Exactly.
Group work comes in.
You have group work all the time. Yeah. So it builds a spirit of being. Yes, it's fantastic as an individual to be able to take initiative and do stuff on your own. Yes. But if you want to really make an impact, you have to be able to work in a team, right? Or institutions operate and survive based on teamwork. Yes. So they're able to. I heard Tijan mention the issue that he was given a column. Yeah. So that shows that, I mean, you're trained well enough that the institution is able to trust you
To give you a column.
to give you a column, trust you, and let you be independent and operate independently. And through that, they are also able to refine their practical skills. So the feedback is fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it shows that something is going right.
Yes. I can also feel that. Okay, how is MAJaC responding to these concerns to ensure that internships are meaningful and well supervised in institutions?
That is a tricky area, because there's a problem in terms of internships generally, and this not just affects MAJaC, but it's across the board, where a lot of institutions tend to exploit interns. You know, they overuse you, give you all sorts of work, sometimes things that you're not even supposed to do, because internships are supposed to be for learning. I mean, if you're interning, you need to have a supervisor. So there should be somebody who knows whatever you're doing better than you, to supervise, guide you, to show you what is going right and what isn't. So if that is absent, then if you're working like a full-time staff, there is a problem. Internships are an extension of the classroom. They're not full-time jobs. They're supposed to teach you a particular skill, help you refine the skills that you have learned. So we try, but well, the idea is to at least reach out every now and then. We have get feedback from the institutions, the hosts, wherever the interns are, but also get feedback from the interns. How is it going? Are there any problems and all whatnot? And to make sure we have also written agreements. I mean, they need to have like a terms of reference. If you're employed, you're given like a letter, right, that outlines all your responsibilities, who you report to, and all whatnot. So it's important to have that document so the intern actually knows, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is not what I'm here for. Because I know we have that thing here generally, where if somebody is an intern or an apprentice, we call them, you know, they assign you, go make me coffee, go do other things that are completely irrelevant, not connected
to your work,
to why you are there. So it's joint, if in terms of monitoring, it's joint work. We get feedback from the institution, but we also get feedback from the interns. And every once in a while, it makes sense to visit the institution itself, so you see the environment, right? Is the environment conducive? Because you don't want to send a student for an internship and they get stressed out and emotionally drained. But yeah, basically that's pretty much it.
That is important, and it is good for students also to take note of some of these things, like the main purpose that took you there, or the main purpose that you are there for. You just focus on that and do it as expected. I was about to ask about the feedback, but you've covered that. You've covered that question. So what are MAJaC's long-term plan for sustaining and strengthening these partnerships? What are the long-term plans that you have?
So for us, we want to have as many partners as possible. Because right now, even in development circles, there's a shift from attribution to contribution. Let me explain this. So let's say you're implementing for instance, MAJaC is a journalism training institution. You're training journalists, you're training investigative journalists and all whatnot. So for you to make a bigger impact, you need to collaborate with others. I mean, you cannot operate as a lone wolf, do everything on your own and claim that whatever changes are happening in the society is because of you. So instead of claiming me, making all the impact, you collaborate, so you actually share some of the responsibilities. It increases your reach and it makes it much easier for you. So for us is to expand our partnerships, because yes, MAJaC will be growing. So it's important that we are to help the students gain the relevant hands-on training to partner. Once they're done here, they actually go somewhere and refine their skills and grow. So the more partners we have, the better. And because you cannot take a whole class of 20 students and take them to an institution, right? You gotta spread them across, and you have a variety of classes. And the internships are for advanced students, not for certificate.
Now you come.
Foundation level students.
It is important to clarify.
You're not ready.
Point, yes.
I mean, at foundation, you're not ready. At certificate, you're not ready. Even at diploma, right? So it's better to take the time, refine your skills, at least up to the advanced or higher diploma level. Then you can go on this internship. So it's here to expand our network, because I think it's also possible, through the content sharing. If the content you're producing here at MAJaC is excellent, I don't see any reason why media institutions reach out and say, we are recruiting, we want this number of students in this area, editor, camera operator, or whatever it may be. So your content could actually sell you out there and get a job before even complete here at MAJaC. So yeah, expand partnerships, give the students visibility that they need, and also help them have a place to go and refine some of their skills and get them ready for the market.
That is quite important. And what advice would you give to students preparing that are preparing to go for internship, to make the most of these opportunities? What advice would you give to these students before we close the program?
First of all, it's the issue of patience, right? Because most of us are in a hurry. Like, we want to do this quick. We want to learn something quickly. Skills are not learned in a day. I mean, they are built. It's an entire process. And on internships, you gotta have discipline. You gotta show up every day, because you're either going to get a small basic allowance or nothing at all. I mean, some people in fact volunteer and entirely to go. So if you don't have the discipline to wake up every morning and be there every day, it's not going to work. You can't say, oh, I'm not paid, or the money is little. Today you go, tomorrow you're absent, you come at whatever time you want. So you got to have the discipline. You got to be able to listen. You have to be able to learn. And you have to ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
You do that, you're going to be able to learn quickly and actually grow.
Okay, before we close the program, we would like to have few calls or text messages from our students or the listeners out there. So the number is 6428287. 6428287. You can call us to join the program. Okay, as we begin to wrap up, what final message would you share? What final message would you like to share with MAJaC students, partners, and the general public about internships and professional development?
My message would be simple, right? Right now, times are changing, times are shifting, so you cannot settle for less. I have seen students who come and do on a certificate and say they're tired. They want to go, they are in a hurry to go make some 5,000 somewhere. So you gotta take the time and trust the process. So you have to be patient and be willing to learn, because now even the basic entry-level jobs, they're asking for at least a higher diploma upwards, right? So certificates and diplomas are not going to cut it. The higher you go, the better, and that takes time. And whatever you're learning, you need to have a passion for it, especially for journalism. And generally the media courses that we offer here, if you don't have a passion for it, you're not going to be good at it. You don't want to be some form of workshop journalist. You're only at hotels from one workshop to another. I mean, those things don't really make an impact. And as one of the students who is on internship said, it's actually important. Then you're able to be proactive. Go for stories that actually matter. So it's important that you be patient and trust the process.
Okay.
And actually follow through.
It's like we have a caller. I'm sorry for cutting you, sir. Hello?
Yes.
Welcome to the program. You're listening to MAJaC Radio 92.2 FM. What is your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Victoria.
Okay.
So my question is, what mechanisms does MAJaC have to ensure interns are really monitored at the workplaces?
What mechanisms?
I got it.
Okay, thank you.
Does MAJaC have?
Okay, thank you.
I had a question, and it's a good question. Sometimes we are a little overwhelmed, as you know, we are a small team. But generally, even in our MOUs, we should have cycles, like quarterly cycles, where we actually discuss. We get feedback from the interns, but we also meet the hosts to actually get what is working, what their challenges are, and all whatnot. Also, you can visit the environment. Typically, before interns even go there, we have to have some sort of relationship, get to visit the environment and see if it's conducive for our interns. But more or less, it's monitoring visits every now and then, and also the feedback cycles.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Baji. Director, just to remind you that you're listening to MAJaC Special on MAJaC Radio 92.2 FM. Our guest today is Mr. James Baji, Director of Training of the Media Academy for Journalism and Communication. Thank you very much for joining us on the MAJaC Radio. And to our listeners and those that call and send their text messages, thank you for staying tuned to MAJaC Radio 92.2 FM. Join us again next time for another edition of MAJaC Special, where we will discuss issues that shape the future of journalism in the Gambia. I was your host, Awa Gassama, and thank you all for joining us. Bye.
You are listening to MAJaC Radio.
This is MAJaC Radio.
MAJaC Studio.